It is 39 years since President Museveni took over power following the 5-year guerrilla war. Government last week held celebrations in Mubende district to commemorate Liberation Day, which formally marks the end of the conflict.
Indeed, His Excellency the President.
President Museveni says his rule spanning nearly 4 decades has significantly contributed to socio-economic development and restored peace across the country. In a statement recently shared on X, formerly Twitter, Museveni said, and I quote, "Uganda is now stable, peaceful and developing at a good rate that is going to accelerate given the policies we are putting in place." End of quote. The older generation of Ugandans, now categorized as senior citizens of this country, would probably agree with Museveni due to the experiences that they went through. However, the young people, most of whom have known only one president, have a different perspective.
When you hear the inauguration speech of the incumbent president 39 years ago, he spoke about things that affected Africans, and it is what he had come to work upon. So if those things are still here, up to date, probably Ugandans have not been liberated, and it's only just a few that have been liberated.
Maybe it was just the change of guards from, the Milton Obote to now Mr. Museveni. It was just basically that, but then the situation then still remains the same.
We are seeing things now getting back to where we were. There's no difference. What Amin and Obote introduced in this country is back. These days, people are abducted in broad daylight.
Even though the president has lately expressed intentions to connect with the youth, especially by referring to them as his bazukuru, a Buganda word meaning grandchildren, every time he wants to put across a message to the nation, many seem unmoved. Some of them told NTV they think a government that has been in power for 39 years is not responding to their concerns. They argue there is too little to be proud of.
There are very high levels of unemployment, to the extent that we have so many young people that have gone through school. We have, reached a certain level of literacy. But even these people that go through the burden of going to school and paying very high amounts of money at university level, at high school level and everywhere, they still end up unemployed.
Most of the young people in this country survive on those two, sports betting and border borders.
So, we sought the opinions of some senior citizens who experienced life before the NRM and what they make of the regime's efforts to fulfill some of the promises it made to the people in 1986.
A lot of things have happened, wrong and right. And those things are known. For example, we have not united Uganda as we would have wanted. There's a bit of sectarianism still there. Our constitution has been amended several times.
As some of us were leaving universities, we left universities with and for jobs. Today, which jobs?
The jobs in the government, there are only 500,000 jobs. But every year, over 100,000 perhaps students are graduating. That shows you that government cannot be ideal for employment. Therefore, jobs must be created elsewhere, either in industry, either in services, either in the arts world, either in ICT, or in commercial agriculture. These are the areas which are elastic and can expand and absorb many Ugandans to provide jobs.
According to Emmanuel Dombo, the young people are not aware of the history of Uganda before the coming of President Museveni, thus they are unable to make a fair judgment about the performance of the current regime.
If they look around, why do they think all the refugees running from the neighboring countries are running to Uganda? They are looking for peace. So that peace is the foundation for other things of the state of government to happen. If you want to do prosperity as a private citizen, there must be peace. If you want to do prosperity as a private individual, there must be peace. That's the foundational aspect, which was part of the 10-point program.
Ask the people of Kasese and tell them that NRM brought for them peace. Ask the young children of Uganda who died the other day in their hundreds in 2021 and call it peace. Ask the people of Mukura in Western Uganda and you call it peace. Ask the people of Acholi, Lango, Teso who lived in concentration camps. Concentration camps for 20 years and you call that peace. What peace is that? What peace is that?
The youth believe that now is the time for them to assume leadership roles and steer the country forward to a place where the queries of a younger generation can be answered.
The people we have today who are over 8 years, we can't really be sure that they will be there in 10 years to come.
People that are leading us today, they took power when they were our age. So if the youth stood up back in the day, it's high time for us to do the same.
We are all part of the problems that are in this country. When you hear all sorts of things happening in parties, when you hear things happening in government, when you hear things happening at the presidential level, there are things that have gone wrong. How do we put them right? I think the question should be, how do we put these things right after so many years? In the spirit of the revolution, can we go back and see if we can improve what has gone wrong?
Meanwhile, all they want for now is for the president to honorably retire from service and facilitate a peaceful transfer of power so another person, preferably a fairly young person, can take charge of the affairs of the country.
The president said the problem, or the biggest problem African countries are facing, are leaders that overstay in power. Probably 40 years is not a long time. Maybe that's not overstay in power.
If he feels he has not achieved what he set out to achieve 40 years ago, then there is nothing he's going to achieve.
It's possible for the young people of this country to register to vote, and they must register to vote. And it's actually important. The young people of this country must wake up, as I always tell them.
Daniel KIBET, NTV.